Today I stand in the House to speak upon an issue which I believe is one of the most crucial of our lifetime, the sanctity of life. An issue which transcends traditional political and community lines, and an issue which was cruelly taken from us and exploited by English MPs at a time of Westminster political chaos. From I took my place in this House, I have always sought to fight for the defenceless, the weak and the innocent. Surely others in this House have been moved by the incredible crusade of Heidi Crowder, a young lady with Down syndrome who is determined to fight for justice and equality. Heidi's story, as moving as it is, does not stand in isolation. Many homes in Northern Ireland are filled with laughter, joy and happiness by those born with disabilities. Who are these disabled people? They are brothers and sisters, aunties and uncles, nieces and nephews, children and grandchildren. They are real people. Who are we to say that their life is worth less? I stand saddened and bewildered at a time when communities and governments and the field of medicine around the world have been mobilised to save the lives of the most vulnerable in our society. That here we are today in this House debating an issue which, if left unopposed, would strip those innocent preborn babies of the most basic right of all, the right to life. Regulation 7 is a very transparent expression of discrimination. It means giving non-disabled viable babies in the womb greater legal protection than disabled viable babies in the womb. That would, of course, be discriminatory. The legal difference of treatment we are talking about here is immense, meaning that on the one hand, the life is protected, while on the other, far from being protected, the state will happily acquiesce with the termination of viable disabled human beings. This is no ordinary discrimination. This is fatal discrimination. Is it any wonder that Heidi Crowder has said that as a lady with Down syndrome, the law makes her sad and cry? It would make me sad and cry if I had Down syndrome, and to be honest with you, it makes me sad and cry even though I do not. I salute Heidi in her boldness in going to the courts to try and get this discriminatory law struck down. I want this Assembly to compassionately respond and say, not in our name. I do not believe that any part of the United Kingdom has ever been subject to worse constitutional abuses in modern times than Northern Ireland has in the development of these abortion regulations. Regardless of what we may or may not think of their content, no self-respecting member of this House should accept them because of the way in which they have been developed. Abortion is a devolved matter. The amendment which sought to change Northern Ireland's abortion laws in spite of this was, according to the Commons Clerk, out of scope and only got through because of the pressure of a large number of signatories by MPs from outside Northern Ireland. Absolutely, yes.
Member agree with me that that was an abuse of both parliamentary and the constitutional norms?
Absolutely, and it's for these very reasons that these regulations cannot be cherry-picked. That is why we cannot support the Sinn Féin amendment today. They rise together or fall together. Let's look at actually what happened. Northern Ireland MPs were ignored on what was a Northern Ireland only issue. A 17-minute debate on a matter of life and death, and an NIO consultation overwhelmingly opposed by 79% of submissions. The essence of constitutional democracy is not simply majoritarianism, but majoritarianism subject to rules. As long as these abortion regulations exist, they openly mock the people of Northern Ireland and their right to the dignity of constitutional due process. The litany of constitutional offences that informed the way Westminster and Whitehall handled this issue since last July are now massively compounded by the fact that despite a restoration of the Northern Ireland Assembly, Her Majesty's government is instead proposing to ask Westminster to vote to pass legislation on a devolved matter. We must call on the government to respect devolution, to abandon these regulations, and to repeal Section 9. Mr. Speaker, in closing, quite simply, the lives of our unborn depend upon it. Thank you.